Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, so today we're diving deep into this highly viral, kind of mystical relationship framework that's been making the rounds online. It uses some pretty evocative language, right? Words like energy and crowns. But our goal here is to cut straight through that mystery and translate the whole thing into practical, understandable steps you can actually use. But before we get into the nitty-gritty specifics, let's just start with the ultimate question. The exact question this entire framework is trying to answer: what makes a union truly strong? Is it, finding someone who totally completes you? Is it all about compromise? Or is it something else entirely? Keep that question in the back of your mind, because the answer this framework gives might seriously challenge how you traditionally think about romance and partnership. So here is the actual source text we're decoding today. It's a direct screenshot of a 5-step relationship blueprint someone posted. And they've really tried to decipher this complex dynamic of masculine and feminine energy, wholeness, and spiritual connection. The original author even wraps it up by saying, "That's what I can decipher, though enlighten me more." Well, that is exactly what we're going to do right now. Let's walk through these 5 steps one by one. All right, part 1, let's look at this viral relationship blueprint. What's genuinely fascinating here is where this framework demands you start. Step 1, build the masculine, the container energy, within yourself first. Notice anything missing? It doesn't say go out and find a partner. Nope, it starts entirely with you, the individual. And it uses the word masculine here not really as a strict gender role, but more as a specific type of energy, what the author calls container energy. Let's break that term down. What exactly is container energy? Well, in the context of this text, it represents the foundational internal structure you build within yourself. Think of it quite literally as a container or a cup. Before you can pour anything in, before you can share your life with anyone else, you have to actually build the vessel. It's all about establishing your own personal boundaries, your self-reliance, and just a really secure internal environment. You absolutely have to build that structure first. Now, once that internal container is fully built, step 2 outlines a pretty interesting progression. It says, then the feminine energy rises to the crown in her, and the masculine energy rises to the crown in him. Basically, the framework is suggesting that only after you've established that secure internal foundation can your true natural energy elevate and fully express itself. It rises to what the text calls the crown. So what does rising to the crown actually mean in practical terms? The crown state is really just a metaphor for reaching your highest, most realized personal potential. It's the absolute peak of self-actualization. The text is essentially arguing that you literally cannot reach your highest potential, your crown, until you've first done the hard, unglamorous work of building your internal container. It's a non-negotiable prerequisite for personal readiness. Moving on to part 2, wholeness over dependency. And that brings us to step 3, which is really the absolute anchor of this whole blueprint. It reads, because each person has developed their own energy to sovereign crown state of connection, the relationship is built from wholeness rather than dependency, making the union stronger. I mean, this is a massive, massive departure from that traditional you complete me narrative we hear all the time. Just look at the contrast. On one side, we have wholeness. 2 complete, fully formed individuals choosing to unite. They're already full cups. On the flip side, we have dependency, relying on another person to feel complete. That's essentially bringing a half-empty cup to the table and expecting the other person to fill it for you. The source text explicitly argues that a union is only truly strong when it is built on that foundation of wholeness. The text actually refers to this successful union as a sovereign crown state of connection. And sovereign is such a powerful word to use here. It means possessing supreme or ultimate power. But in this context, it means maintaining your ultimate autonomy. You're coming together as the king and queen of your own individual lives, uniting purely by choice, rather than out of some desperate necessity. Okay, part 3, purpose and independence. So step 4 of the source material states, still, each person fulfills their life purpose independently and authentically. I find this so fascinating because it insists that a deep, profound connection doesn't just erase your individual trajectory. You still have a life purpose and you're expected to fulfill it entirely on your own. You don't just abandon your personal mission just because you found a partner.
The key elements of this stage are independence within the union, authentic self-expression, and keeping a firm grip on your personal life purpose. The relationship essentially becomes this supportive parallel track, not something that completely derails your individual journey. You get to be your true authentic self, pursuing your actual goals while standing right next to someone doing the exact same thing. It's a real game changer.
Which brings us to part 4, the ultimate self-led connection.
Step 5 reads, finally, each is self-led through their own direct relationship with God. Now, regardless of your specific religious beliefs, the structural argument the text is making here is incredibly clear. It's saying that the ultimate guiding force in your life absolutely should not be your romantic partner. Your highest authority, your ultimate source of direction, has to come from a higher, personal, spiritual connection. You are completely self-led. Think about it. In a partner-led connection, you rely entirely on your significant other for guidance, meaning, and validation. They become your whole universe. But in a self-led connection, like the text advocates, you're guided by your own internal compass. This ensures that you never lose your center of gravity to another human being. And, paradoxically, according to this framework, that's exactly what makes the relationship between the two of you infinitely more stable. And that brings us right back around to the original author's sign-off. That's what I can decipher, though enlighten me more. It's just a wonderful reminder that these concepts, energy, wholeness, connection, they're incredibly complex and deeply personal. The source text gives us a fascinating map, but it's a map that invites personal reflection and an ongoing conversation. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a direct challenge. If a truly strong union requires two whole self-led people, then the work always starts with you. How are you going to build your container energy today? What is literally one step you can take right now to strengthen your own internal foundation, completely independent of anyone else? Think about that for a second. Because according to this viral framework, that is exactly where true connection begins. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and we'll catch you on the next one.